Welcome back to Gimme Five with Jones and Eli. And today we have a very special guest, our great friend Josh Kaplan, FTS Friends Talking Shop, Aces Pod. What a great podcast, Eli.
Great podcast.
Oh, thank you.
Go check him out, guys.
Spotify, Instagram, everywhere, right?
Absolutely. And,
We're everywhere.
Everywhere. As are we. We got a great segment today. Josh was telling us before the pod, he said he had some problems with some of our takes on some of our recent podcasts. So we're interested to hear. Josh, the floor is yours. Tell us, where did we go wrong?
Listen, I'm a big fan of yours and the Gimme Five pod, and you guys do great work. You're typically right on. I typically tend to side with one of you, but I got a few bones to pick with some of your topics that you've had as of late. So let's start with the pretzel is a chip argument that you both had. I think you're both missing the mark on that.
Let's hear it.
What you fail to identify is that it's not the crunchiness, it's not the snack, it's the shape. The shape makes the chip, and that's why you have pretzel chips. You notice you have pretzel rods, pretzel sticks, hard pretzels, soft pretzels, pretzel chips. And the reason why rods are not chips is because they're not shaped like potato chips and hence tortilla chips. That's what you guys missed.
Right. So the rod would be your only argument in there that I could have. So, but when we're talking about other types of pretzels, right, they're not having that same type of crunch like I talked about. They're not even in the same format. The rod and the pretzel chips are the only things that would fit that.
I just think more importantly, more relevantly, there's no chip shape. You can't say there's a singular chip shape. You got a tortilla chip, it's triangle. You get a potato chip, it's a regular one. You get like a Pringle, it's curved. You could have like a waffle chip. You could have the wrinkly chip. You could have a little mini chip, a big chip. There's, Chipper Jones. There's all kinds of chips.
Yeah.
Like we get. But
what you're missing,
there's one chip.
What you're missing is it. I'm not saying the shape of a potato chip. I'm saying the thickness of the potato chip and the bend, the curvature. So you talk, it's thin and it's curvy. That's what makes it a chip. If you look at pretzel chips are thin.
Can we all agree that a Cheeto is a chip? Because I think this would get us to a
Cheeto is not a chip. No. Cheeto's not in the shape. If a Cheeto was flat, a Dorito's a chip. Look at Doritos.
Well, obviously. Right. There's no contention there. The sun rises in the morning. We agree that Doritos are a chip.
That's not because of the shape. Again, I contend that it's not because of the shape.
It's 100% because of the shape.
It's because of the flavor. But look, there's plenty of things out there that are chip shaped.
What?
I'll think of an example.
Sure.
But let me ask you something. Is a soft pretzel a chip?
No, absolutely not.
No.
Why? I mean, it's a pretzel.
It's bread. It's bread. There's
so a hard pretzel's bread. It's just stale bread. It's hard bread.
It's the
same ingredients.
Is a hard pretzel a soft pretzel that hasn't been like what is a hard pretzel? Just a regular pretzel?
Well, you're out of my zone here of expertise. I don't know, but I'm going to guess. I'm going to guess they make them with the exact same ingredients.
So your contention here is that. Okay, wait. Let me ask. So is your contention here that pretzels are not chips? You would agree with that?
Pretzel chips are chips. Pretzel rods are not chips.
And what's the what about a regular little
So your argument is only because of the shape. But
correct.
But then you're going with the composition argument, the bread argument. It can't
no,
be both.
I'm not. What the bread argument is proving my point.
Oh, the bread is
refuting yours. What I'm saying is pretzel rods, soft pretzels, they're the same exact ingredients, same exact makeup, yet they're not chips because of their shape. Pretzel sticks. Why do they call them pretzel rods and pretzel sticks?
Because of their shape. A pretzel rod is a chip too.
No, it
is.
You said earlier it's not.
No. It can't be.
Now that I think about it more, it doesn't matter what I name the chip.
Listen, I didn't want to bring this up. I didn't want to go into my bag of tricks here because I'm going to do it. The other thing you need, by the way, I thought shape would be enough. I thought thickness would be enough, but you guys are very stubborn guys, and I get it. But what you're missing also is the ability to dip. You can't dip a pretzel rod. You can dip a chip.
You can't dip a pretzel rod. You can't. Let me slide a thing of guacamole in front of you. You twist that thing in there. You're eating for days.
Eating pretzels and guac?
No, I'm just saying theoretically you can dip a queso, maybe not a salsa, not a scooper, but can you dip a Dorito in a salsa? Probably not.
Of course.
No.
Of course you can.
You
And the
dip
key is-
Doritos in salsa?
I don't, but you can because it's a chip. And the key is salsa. Salsa. I'm not talking about a thick thing like guac or peanut butter. That's not a dip. A dip is something that is loose and that there's a
Wait a
table
minute.
for
So
it.
wait a
minute.
The chip provides a table for it.
So you're
Like
saying
a cracker.
there needs to be some bowlage. There needs to be some scoopage
The
potential.
curvature. That's what I talked about.
But that doesn't exist on pretzel chips.
No. Can we rewind? What is going on
It's
here?
enough.
Time
It's
out.
enough, and it's table-esque.
I'm calling an Andy Reid timeout. Guac is not a dip now?
Guac is a dip, but not for the definition of a chip. When you talk about the definition of a chip,
So there's
you
a
need
chip dip and a non-chip dip.
That's exactly right.
So where does hummus fall?
So
in
what
that?
can I
That's
dip in
question.
my guac? What can I dip? If it's a dip, what am I dipping?
Hey, I'm not debating that. You could dip whatever the hell you want in your guac. I don't give a shit about that. All I'm saying is what defines a chip. A chip has to be thin, it has to have curvature, and it has to hold salsa.
I don't know about the thinness. I don't know about the thickness. I think you can have a thick
Really?
chip. Yeah, I think you could definitely have a thick chip.
What's a thick chip? Give me an example of a thick
I
chip.
don't know the brand, but I would say Doritos are definitely thicker
would
than.
you say
No, that's still
yeah.
thin. Now you're
Wait, hold on.
minutia.
What about those bagel bites? Are those chips?
Bagel chips.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
they are.
Those
They are.
Those are pretty
Those are
I
bad.
think
chips.
also if it has it in the name, if it says bagel chip, that's a chip.
No,
Those are
If it's a
chips.
bagel chip, then it's not a
They're
chip.
chips.
No.
I would agree.
They're
it's a chip.
chips.
No, if the chip is in the name, it doesn't make it a chip. Or what about a chocolate chip? Would you call that a chip?
Oh, interesting
No.
point.
A
That's a
chocolate chip
different
isn't a
definition of chip. A different definition of chip.
Is it a different definition in the dictionary?
It's a homophone.
Is it? Chip is a homophone.
Well, there's also
Chip
like
is
chip.
a
Like you
homophone.
can chip something like chip your tooth.
Sure,
That's
and
right.
You could be chipper. You could be very chipper about
You
something.
could be
haven't you?
chipper. Yeah, you could
Right.
put someone in a wood chipper.
You could.
That's a noun. Yeah,
Was
Like
that?
you
That
did in
was
Fargo.
I was about to say Fargo.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
it.
yeah.
That was a great scene.
Yeah.
And by the way, Fargo leads me to my next rebuttal.
Go ahead.
for it.
Now
Please.
that I've won the first one, it's been
Oh,
settled. I got
okay.
that one.
Give
The
me
next
5 'cause I
rebuttal.
won.
It's funny you brought up Fargo because I'm going to go right into the next one. It's a perfect segue to your celebrity wingman debate. What you guys failed to realize on this one, you're picking Ryan Gosling. You're going to go into a bar with Ryan Gosling. You're going to get zero attention.
But
I agree. I thank you.
Who did
I
you
said-
say, though, Jonah? Who'd you say?
Obama, of course.
Yes, and that's another one that doesn't work.
exactly.
Why?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you why. Here's what you're missing. When you want a wingman, right? You need someone that's going to garner attention, but not take attention away from you. Gosling and Obama do both those things. Okay? You need someone like Steve Buscemi. You know who Steve Buscemi is?
Of course. You
Yeah.
know.
no.
All right.
So you subscribe to the theory that you need a wingman that's uglier than you, which Elias
Correct.
disagrees.
I
100
totally disagree. I
Oh,
totally
come on.
disagree. I think. Listen.
Come on.
When you go out, if you're with a wingman who's ugly, people are going to view you in a package deal. We're all guilty of this. You look at people, you don't really look at all the details. You glance over, and if you see a great-looking guy and an average-looking guy, you're going to say,
are
okay,
100
that's two good-looking guys. If you see
You're
an ugly guy
100%
and an
right.
average, you're going to say they're both ugly. So
You're
you want to
right,
bring up the average.
You're right, but what you're missing is the one thing. Steve Buscemi is a celebrity. He's recognizable. People want to talk to him. If you're in a pack with a bunch of no-name ugly dudes, no one wants to talk to you. That's
Exactly.
your argument.
Thank you.
You bring Steve Buscemi in, that's a check. You're better looking, and people want to approach you because you're with Steve Buscemi.
I see that,
Yes.
but I really
What?
don't know. I don't know if Buscemi has it like that with the women.
Definitely
Like,
not.
I really think like a guy like Obama, nobody's going for Obama. Let's be honest. He's going to take
Are
attention
you
away from you.
crazy? Obama?
He's got a
People
wife.
love
He's got a-
Obama. Women
he's got a
love
wife.
So does
Obama.
Gosling.
He's got a wife.
So does Gosling.
Yeah, but Gosling.
Buscemi
come
probably
on,
does as well.
Gosling, probably not.
Here's your other
Right.
shortcoming. Jonah, here's your other shortcoming.
Go ahead.
People want to talk to Obama. They have 1,000 things to ask Obama.
sure.
He was president of the United States. You could talk to him for days on end about his experience.
Oh, well, sure.
Steve Buscemi, you're going to talk to him about a couple movies, and that's it. The conversation ends. Now you're in charge.
So
Now you're the spotlight.
I don't hate this one.
No, I hate it. I absolutely
What?
hate it.
You hate it?
But Steve Buscemi. So you're going to walk into the bar, you and Steve Buscemi, and then you're planning it. Everyone's going to go to talk to Steve Buscemi because they want to see what an interesting guy he is, and then they're going to get bored of Steve Buscemi and now come over to us.
Hold on. They're not going to get bored of Steve Buscemi right away. And you are there. And then you are part of the conversation, and you're Steve Buscemi's friend. And now all of a sudden, the people that you're talking to are like, yeah, he's interesting, but he's not a looker. And now they're looking your way because now you're the next best thing, and you're next to Steve Buscemi.
I mean, if Steve Buscemi is listening to the pod, I apologize. You seem like a great guy.
I don't.
But
Josh, coming after you, Steve.
I don't think like John said, I don't think he's going to, if I'm there with Gosling is going to bring the girls and he's going to be able to talk to them as well. Buscemi's probably scaring them away.
I also have to argue that the modern day girl might not know who Steve Buscemi is.
That's a great point as well.
True. That's why I have a backup. That's why I have a backup. You guys are walking right into my trap.
Well, do you want to drop this one name? We're gonna have to go in we're gonna have to go in 1 second, but drop this name right here, right now.
Jack Black.
Jack Black. I kind of like that one.
I like that one.
This has been Gimme 5 with Jones and Eli. A special thanks to Josh Kaplan for coming on. His podcast is FTS Friends Talking Shop. Check it out on Spotify. Check it out on Instagram. They are everywhere. Guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for talking.